minimum wage went up in Ontario this October 1st, and Danielle Smith got the lowest minimum wage in Canada now. She said she will not be raising minimum wage because doing so will hurt the youth employment. And we've kind of seen that in Canada. I mean, I've talked to, I remember one employer here in the Okanagan here had like several grocery stores. And then, the margins are so slim in these specialty grocery stores. And it was just usually students that she had working there, like that's their first job. And, with EHT, that, and a whole bunch of things, they closed them all up. All 5 of them closed and said that they just couldn't do it. They couldn't compete with the large stores. But here's the minimum wages across Canada. Here, we'll just kind of go through the list. Alberta's at $15, and I guess it was high at one point because it hasn't changed. It's unchanged since 2018. So it would have been one of the higher minimum wages at one point. They just haven't done anything with it forever. British Columbia at $17.85 now. That's effective June 1st. Manitoba it just went up from $15.80, so it wasn't far away from Alberta's. It's now $16, so a buck more. New Brunswick $15.65, very close to Alberta. Newfoundland $16. I mean, people in Newfoundland lucky to have a job ever since they kiboshed all their oil stuff. Northwest Territories $16.95. I don't know. That's a tough place to make $16.95. Nova Scotia $15.70. None of it. At $19.75, and most people would say, "Want to go live in none of it?" And I said, "You'll say, I'll have none of it."
Well, certainly when a tomato costs like $30 or something, I don't know. That's pretty tough to live on that, isn't it? But then again, I lived in the north, and it's definitely expensive for sure. When this story though, I heard it on CBC this morning, and I mean, I'm not surprised to say this about CBC. I wouldn't expect them to do any better because they're not very high quality. But you would think, wouldn't you, from a high quality news provider or something like that, somewhere you would have some information about economists' theories of minimum wage, because you read these stories and it's like, also Danielle Smith is just Scrooge. Then that's it. That's the only logical conclusion to why she's doing this. You wouldn't know that economics experts, professors, and all the rest of it, they talk about the pros and cons of just having a minimum wage at all, like whether that is actually beneficial to the people or if it's not. Like, this is an active argument, and there are economists that devote their lives to this subject, but you would never know that that's like a hotly debated issue, would you? When you read like an average news report, it's just like, oh, minimum wage is going up. That's just a good thing, unambiguously. It's like not quite. There are lots and lots of arguments about this.
I can tell you right
very,
now,
very serious and highly educated people.
I can tell you right now, $15 an hour is worth more than $17.85 in BC. No PST, cheaper rent, cheaper housing, cheaper gas. Like, you know what I mean? Like $15 in Alberta is better than $17.85. So just, before you start virtue signaling, start to realize what it costs in British Columbia and other places because of tax. Ontario too. They got that beautiful thing there called the HST, don't they?
Yeah, beautifully harmonized. Talk about the butter. But there's another warning from places like Britain, my the land of my fathers there, where they introduced a living wage. A Conservative government actually did that. And you kind of see this, they have a name for it. I can't remember what it is, like wage compression, I think, where it's like almost everybody, no matter what their job is paid very similar amounts of money. And there's no differentiation across the professions, even between like management and staff, like really not big variety in wages. And that's, I've read a few economists talking about that or trying to describe that, and they said that is a consequence of that policy of the living wage.